More to Marketing. Welcome to More to Marketing, a podcast on marketing, product, and everything in between. I'm your host, Susan, and today we're going to be talking about stakeholder management and what key areas you could focus on. Stakeholder management refers to the strategic process of identifying, engaging, and fostering relationships with individuals, groups, or entities, stakeholders, who have an interest or are affected by a particular project, organization, or initiative. Stakeholder management aims to understand and address their needs, concerns, and expectations to ensure their influence is considered in decision-making processes. Now, there are some key aspects of stakeholder management that you should be aware of. So the first is identification. Recognize all stakeholders. They could be the SMEs of the business, for example, related to the project or organization, including internal and external parties. Prioritisation. It's important when evaluating stakeholders based on their level of influence and interest in or participation in the endeavour, because you want to make sure that they're aware when they need to set time aside and be having items assigned to them as well. Engagement. It's important to establish effective communication channels and interactions to involve these stakeholders so that they have relevant discussions and decisions lined up so they can be at their optimal. Mitigation. Proactively addressing concerns, conflicts, or issues that may arise by understanding and managing your stakeholder expectations. And another key aspect of stakeholder management is relationship building, cultivating that positive relationship and trust with stakeholders through a transparent, responsive, and engaging process. The importance of stakeholder management really brings about 4 key elements. So risk mitigation, enhanced decision-making, improve output, and sustainable support. So if we go into these 4 areas, so risk mitigation, you help identify potential risks and mitigate them by understanding your stakeholders' concerns and interests, which is why you want to engage with them one-on-one where you can. Enhanced decision-making. Considering diverse perspectives lead to informed and inclusive decision-making processes. So having all those people that are relevant there will mean that you have a better decision-making ability because you're thinking about everything, you hope. Improved outcome. So collaboration with stakeholders often leads to a better outcome and successful project implementation. And then you've got the sustained support. So you really want to build those positive relationships to ensure that ongoing commitment to the project. So you need to show that yourself by being the key lead for stakeholder management. Now, there's approaches to stakeholder management that will help you. So when going into a project, it's essential to bring these basics along. So the first one is definitely that identifying. So list all the parties involved and impacted by your business. Prioritize that engagement. So assess stakeholders' influence and level of interest. And if you need to have one-on-ones, get them involved, ask them more opinions to make them feel like they're part of the project. Deliver strategies. So tailor communication and engagement based on their needs. Some may prefer phone calls, some emails, some documents. Work that out so you've got the best balance of all. Regular communication, so maintain that open, transparent, and consistent dialogue throughout the whole time. And this will allow you to have those positive impacts when doing stakeholder management, like enhanced relationships. So you're building your own trust and credibility here. Effective decision-making, because you've got all those informed choices happening by the diverse perspectives. Your risk is mitigated because you're actually proactively working together to prevent escalation issues. And improve the reputation. So not just your reputation, but you're going to be bolstering up the stakeholders' engagement within the organization too, which helps the organization's image. Now, there are some cons when you're looking into stakeholder management. It can be time intensive because you do require ongoing effort and resources to maintain those relationships. They don't happen out of thin air. There can be conflicting priorities. So you're going to find a way to balance that divergent stakeholder interests, and it can be challenging. Resource allocation, so engaging that diverse resource group and making sure they're actually getting allocated where they need to can be a challenge. And then you've got a lot of people that are just resistant to change. And that happens within organizations. So examples of stakeholder management can come in many different ways. So if I give you some examples here, this might help you understand where your basic stakeholder management can happen within an organization. So start off with, you might have your CSR, which is your corporate social responsibility initiatives. So they're ones that come along there addressing your community concerns by involving local stakeholders. You might see organizations or companies out there doing government projects. They're actually engaging as part of their process for stakeholder management, citizens, NGOs, and authorizations in infrastructure developments and those companies that go along with that. If you go within a company, they might be doing stakeholder management for product development, and that involves your customers, suppliers, and employees in creating this new offering. And then if you look again to another type of company, like a non-for-profit, there'll be those collaborations that happen with donors, volunteers, and beneficiaries. In essence, stakeholder management is a strategic approach that recognizes the significance of engaging and satisfying all parties involved or impacted by initiative, ensuring that the interests and needs are acknowledged and addressed in the organization's plan and action, and that everyone has a voice and is heard and treated respectfully. By having quality stakeholder management as part of what you do within your role or how others work, you're going to have a more positive influence on the business and be able to create something more magical together with less blockers. And let's face it, we hate blockers. We want to get rid of them as much as we can. Thank you for listening to this podcast from More2Marketing. Don't forget to press like to follow more podcasts in the future. More to Marketing.